Hello guys, today I've got the MacBook Neo from 2026 and the MacBook Air M5 also from 2026, and in this video I will show you a video editing performance test and comparison between these two laptops. So we have DaVinci Resolve opened on both of these laptops and we have the same project opened. The project itself on both laptops is just a bunch of random videos put on top of each other with a bunch of random effects just to create a timeline that can be exported. I created this for comparison of the export speed and also the quality of playback during editing so we can compare the experience. Since I have had some experience working on both of these laptops on the same project, the experience is pretty much the same. There is no stuttering on the Neo version, although it only has 8 GB of RAM, at least with a timeline that has less than 100 clips in it. You can see the preview on the Air right now, it goes smoothly, and if we play the preview on the Neo, it will also go smoothly. So there are no stuttering notes, nothing has changed, everything is just as smooth as it is on the Air. The experience with the editing itself is also pretty much the same. While you are moving through the timeline both on Air and on Neo, working on small projects feels pretty much the same. Both laptops perform relatively well. However, it is obvious that having 16 GB of RAM, the Neo can handle much heavier projects. Plus, it has a slightly bigger screen, but still, working on rather smaller projects feels pretty much the same, and you can see it as well. Normally, two different computers would process the previews differently, but you can see that is not the case here. So now the most interesting part, the export, and how both of them handle the export. Before I export these two timelines, I just want to mention that they are identical. The media in them is identical and is stored in the same directory. If I open Finder on both laptops, it is stored in exactly the same place in the Movies folder. The amount of programs opened in the background is also the same, with only Finder and DaVinci Resolve opened on both laptops. The directory of the source files is exactly the same, the project itself is exactly the same. Now let us also set exactly the same preset. It will be H.264, and let us name this file the Air test and this one the Neo test. In a moment we are going to run a render. Let us also compare the export settings. I did not change anything here, so it is just a regular preset. Everything is identical. As you can see, the projects are exactly the same and are a bit over 2 minutes in length. Now let us add both videos to the queue and render both of them. So the render has started, and obviously from the first seconds we can see that the Air is handling the render better than the Neo does. While we have 37% ready on the Air, we only have 22 on the Neo. From what I can tell you, the Neo will give you about 40% of the Air performance. The Air is unexpectedly fast actually. Although it is a 2-minute video, it has a lot of elements. The render is finished in 40 seconds. The render is still not done on the Neo, but let us check how long it will take. For some reason it begins to stutter, or at least it feels like it. So it is a little bit more than twice as slow as the Air. So it is pretty much what I said, about 40% of the performance of the Air. We can clearly see that the render on the Neo took 1 minute and 30 seconds compared to 40 seconds on the Air M5. This was just out of curiosity to see how much better the Air model handles files compared to the Neo. Let us check the results. We can see the file size is exactly the same on both Neo and Air. I think the video will be exactly the same too for both laptops. Still, I think for some purposes the Neo would still be a great choice. Of course, the M5 Air has much better performance speed, but if you do not really need that performance as much, the experience of working on the Neo in DaVinci Resolve is pretty much the same. It feels pretty much the same, and you have seen everything for yourself. So that is pretty much the results of the test. That is it for this video, and I hope you liked it. If you did, please consider subscribing to our channel. Leave us a like and comment below, and I will see you in the next one.